Just for references, this is a scale I created that I'm going to be using to rate movies, comic books, TV shows, video games, music, food, and of course, anime. 0 out of 10 is worse. 1 out of 10 is bad. 2 out of 10 is yeah, no. 3 out of 10 is sock. 4 out of 10 it's a start. 5 out of 10 is okay. Like okay. 6 out of 10 is potential. 7 out of 10 is cool. 8 out of 10 is whoa or wow. 9 out of 10 is awesome. And 10 out of 10 is epic or oh yeah. Just to let you know that all properties from the images are completely owned by the copyright holders. Let's get started in here. Woohoo! Hello, welcome back to my channel, The World of Ernesto. And if you do not know already who I am, I'm Ernesto Gonzalez, and I like to review all kinds of pop culture media and may one day food. So today I will begin to review one of my favorite animes, Inuyasha, by first reviewing season 1 and 2. I want to start off by giving my opinions of each character. Of course, we have to start off with my hero and the main character of the series, Inuyasha. My first impression with him was that he seemed devious until he met Kagome, the leading female protagonist. He seemed to be aggressive and not one to make friends easily after Kagome frees him from his imprisonment, and as season 1 progresses, he becomes more heroic in the team's search for the sacred Shikan jewel. Inuyasha then gains the sword gifted by his father, called the Tetsaiga, in which he uses to take down his enemies, although his claws are useful in the battle too. Later in season 1, he starts to grow an attraction with Kagome and feels a need to protect her. When Kagome made her first appearance, she definitely started out as one of those schoolgirl characters, but then she got pulled into the Fuel Era by a demon. She had no idea where she was, but encountered a half-demon named Inuyasha. As the season progressed, it was speculated that Kagome was the incarnation of Inuyasha's first love, named Kikyo. She can be a little snooty, but she is also one of the strongest women characters. She mainly used her bow and arrow, which we get to see her use throughout the seasons. They then meet a character named Shippo. When he made his first appearance in the show, he asked both Inuyasha and Kagome to help to avenge his father. And he may be small, but he is pretty helpful with his fox magic from dire situations. And sometimes he may not be the hero of the series, but you gotta give him props to the little guy, and never underestimate the fox demon. The next character is someone who is helpful for the team, but he did act a little like a professional, but he can get a little immature. And that is Moroku. Now, he made his appearance in the show as a spiritual monk, but he can get a little handsy when he sees a pretty woman. But with his power called the Wind Tunnel, which is pretty handy in the battle. But if he uses too much, he could die. Like I said, he's a little immature, but he is a valuable member of the team. Next character I'm going to talk about is Sango. Now, Sango started out as a demon slayer, but when she saw her family and her teammates die, she thought Inuyasha was the villain, but it was actually someone else who was responsible. And we cannot forget the fearsome but also adorable mascot is Kilala, who is this little fox cat creature who can turn into a small but can grow into a giant cat. And the final member who shows up when the team is needed for information or for a job is Myoga, the flea. Now for him, he mostly serves Inuyasha, but he also helps out if the team is poisoned, so he drinks blood out of it. And now however small he is definitely a smart insect that can help out. Now that I got the characters, it's time to talk about the series, starting with season 1. The first time I started with the series, it definitely went with a bang, and the start from the very first episode, I was very intrigued, and it starts with, on the main character is Inuyasha, who's trying to steal the relic, but someone he trusted betrayed him, but it's a misunderstanding, and we get to see the strong female lead of the series, Kagome, and she gets roped into a situation, and when she meets Inuyasha and must find the relic known as the Shikan jewel. The first season of the series did get me excited, and along the way, there was also some drama, comedy, suspense, romance, and adventure, which is almost like my number one favorite anime, Fairy Tail. But I'll get to that in the future. My introduction from the characters did show some traits of what about them. Some I adore, some I despise, and some I just find so cool. So all in all, season 1 was a great start for the series. There was a little bit of everything for me. I think my favorite episode is episode 5, the artistic assassin Sesshomaru. As for the rest of season 1, I definitely give it a 9 out of 10 for awesome. And that's it for season 1. Let's move on for season 2. I should have brought up this before. Shinoru is Inuyasha's half-brother, who is so cool. He reminds me of Sebastian Michaelis from Black Butler. But when he made his first appearance, I knew I was going to hate him at some point. But when his Tensaiga was given by his Inuyasha's father, he wanted the Tensaiga. But when he healed Rin, she decided to tag along with him. And he acts like a villain, but it goes to say he mostly acts like an anti-hero. But when he fights Inuyasha, I have to say it. Their brotherly love is like Aquaman and Ocean Master's brotherly love. Then there's Koga, who is the most absolute devious character I've ever seen in my entire life. When he showed up, he had his eyes on Kagome, which brought a love triangle between him and Kagome and my hero Inuyasha. And yeah, what he does is unforgiving, and he does have his reasons of why he would get his hands on Naraku, but with all his anger, he can never list the reason. And when he butts heads with Inuyasha, you know I was rooting for my hero. As for season 2, I was already looking forward for the destruction of Naraku, but when I saw that he got to the shards of the Shikan Jewel, he wasn't going to get them on his own hands. So he had to bring up his army to get them. So it was up for our heroes to get the shards and make sure Naraku would never affect anybody else. As the season does develop deeper for the characters, I am glad they have personality, and I can see what they can do once the Shikan Jewel is restored. And I have to give it some credit. Season 2 has to be one of the best seasons of the anime. And with that, I have to give it a 10 out of 10 for epic. The reason I give it that score is because I was ready for what's going to happen next. And season 2 gave more action, drama, and of course, a lot more comedy. And since Naraku was going to be the main villain, I had to give support to the characters. And that's all I have for season 1 and season 2 of Inuyasha. And I will get to the next season eventually. But stay tuned, because I'm going to review the first Inuyasha movie, Affliction Touching Across Time. See you then.